Okay, so now you should have your samples ordered, but now what we can do is also start considering our brand and our brand name. And I'm going to actually show you the difference between like the regular brand, okay, that sells the product, okay, that's your company, but then also the product brand because there's two different things. So there's really these five things that we need to do here. Okay. One is choose the basic main brand. And I'm going to show you what I mean in a second here. I'll show you what that is. And then two, you're going to want to choose the product brand. And then third, you're going to want to check for trademark, which I already talked about that when checking your trademark and patents. But also, you're going to want to check for a URL availability. And what the URL is, if you don't know, is basically a website address. And it's not something you're going to need now. And I don't recommend that you even think about a website or a blog or a YouTube channel or any of that stuff. But I do believe that you should plan for the future, and you want to definitely just do your homework right now to make sure that when you do decide to have that, you're going to have that name available. And you may even want to scoop it up now. Probably like 10, 12 bucks. You can even probably find a coupon code for GoDaddy and find it for $1.99 for the first year. Definitely worth doing. And then the fifth thing is just picking one. So many people spend weeks trying to figure out what name they're going to settle on for their brand. And I'm going to show you how the main brand really isn't even as important as the product brand. The main brand you can really go back and change at any time without much work at all. So that's really what we're going to be talking about and that you're going to need to consider. Now, the example here I wanted to give you was, like, for example, the main brand, let's say, is Cooking Styles, okay, with a Z there I put, right? And then the product brand could be Kitchen Mama. Okay. So if you were selling like the garlic press, well, Cooking Styles sells the product or the garlic press, and then the product brand is, the garlic press is made by Kitchen Mama. All right. So Kitchen Mama is the one that sells it, and Cooking Styles Kitchen Mama is the one that actually makes the garlic press, and Cooking Styles is the company that sells the garlic press. Now, you can make these two the same if you want to, but if you think that you might not have the same product line, which I don't recommend, I do recommend you doing this and having the same type of products underneath that brand. But some people have asked me, like, Scott, what if I want to sell something in the kitchen space, and then what if I want to sell something over here in the sports space? Well, if you do that, then you're going to want your main brand to be something generic, not Cooking Styles. Even you're going to want that to be like, let's just say like XYZ wholesaling, right? And then your product brand would be Kitchen Mama for the garlic press, and then maybe Sports R Us for the basketball that you're going to sell. See, so you want to keep those all separate. But to keep things simple here, I'd like to see you do something like this, where the main brand is similar to the product brand. It's in that same category. But if you wanted to split the two to have them differently, you could do that. And like I said, or you can simplify the whole thing and just really simplify it and make it where the product brand is the same as the main brand. Totally up to you. But I just wanted to kind of cover them. That's the example that I wanted to give you there. I want to show you here what I mean, kind of, so this way here I'm not just telling you what it means, I'm showing you. So here, if we look at the actual, T ball infuser thing here, you can see that right here it says sold by Wink, and it's fulfilled by Amazon. Okay. Now, if you look up here, the actual product itself, it says by Happy Sales. Okay. Really strange too, by the way. I would never think that Happy Sales would be this and Wink. It just doesn't even make sense. But anyway, that's what I see here. Okay. So now let me show you another example of what I had said before, that you can actually do sold by the Friendly Suede, or I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm probably not, but we're just going to say I am. And then this one up here is the same. So they're both the same, the same. They went with sold by, and then it's made by kind of thing. Okay. But you could do, like I said before, you can make this Kitchen Styles, and then this could be, Cooking Mama, right? And I don't know why I use that name. It's kind of funny, Cooking Mama, right? But you get the idea. Or you can just make it Cooking Styles and then Made by Cooking Styles, whatever you want, okay? But the thing is sold by, you can change this very easily. You can just go in there and then just, change the name, and then all of a sudden it'll update on all of your listings that you have that it's sold by, okay? And then the same thing with your product name. The only difference is when you settle on the product name, you're going to then have them brand your product with this name. So that's why it's really important that you get the brand name right that you want to go with, and then just go with it. Because once you brand your product, okay, then all of a sudden it becomes real. All right. So now the other thing is, let's go over here now. And I just wanted to show you now, if we go to GoDaddy and let's just do cooking and then styles with the Z, and let's see if that's available. And then you're going to see here. So it is. So it's $12.99. So cookingstyles.com, that could be my name. So we could be done right now, right? It's that simple, right? Except I'd want to go over and see if it was trademarked, and then we can go ahead and go further from there. So, maybe we should do that. Let's go over and do the whole process. So now I'm here at that USPTO, United States Patent and Trademark Office. I go to trademarks and I go to searching trademarks. And then from there, I'm going to scroll down, and I already did this before, but I'm going to do it again for you. Click on this and then go to the basic word mark, and then I'm going to go cooking and then styles and then hit submit query. No test records were found to match the criteria of your query. Click on the back button in your browser to return to. So there's nothing trademarked using that right now. So just there in front of you, and honestly, I got to be 100% honest. It literally, I thought of that name on the fly when I was creating that lesson. So I didn't even take time to think about it. I just said, oh, that'd be kind of a cool name. So cooking styles, right? So I just did all of that research. So right now I'm pretty much done. I know I can get the domain name. I know that it's not trademarked. And then I, basically can now start working on my logo that I'm going to need for when I order my inventory. All right. So that's pretty much it. That's as simple as it is. And like I said, you just want to do your homework here by doing exactly what I just showed you. And of course, yeah, you're going to want to spend a little bit of time writing down names that are going to, that your customer is going to be able to look at and go, okay, this makes sense, right? Like Cooking Styles, I can see them selling a garlic press, right? I could see them selling a spatula. I can see them selling a tea infuser. All of these things I can see Cooking Styles selling. It doesn't seem weird, right? And then again, you just want to be creative. Like I did styles, so add another letter there or something. But you just want to make it also short and easy to remember. I usually like 2 words, no more than that. And if you can, make it 1 word. But again, the one thing I do want to say here is don't stress about this too much, because I want you to actually take a little bit of time, go through it, right? And I want you to settle on a name, okay? I want you to give yourself a deadline. I want you to say, I'm going to give myself till tomorrow to come up with a name. So if that's going to take you an hour, if it's going to take you 5 hours, that's up to you, okay? But the key here is that I want you to find a name that is going to represent your brand. So this way here, we can give it to the supplier and we can launch your product on schedule. All right, so that's the key here. All right, so that is going to wrap up this lesson. You got some homework to do. And from there, I'll see you in the next lesson.